is working. Ooh, it's hot. Put that there. Hopefully, it is smooth. um, let's see. Oh, that's not bad. Sorry about the delay. Why? Let's see if some people come through. Excuse me. All right. I'll probably just go ahead and start because it looked like my I do have pretty good connection. So, why, hello, human beings. How you doing today? Sendou Q here. Long time no see. Yes, I downloaded more internet. Sorry about that, everybody. Um, I know I'm gonna be kind of late with this news. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Again, so been a moment. I know. I just been busy trying to get no problem. I do apologize. Sup everybody. Sup Mr. Gamer. Sup Nintendo. Sup Golden Apple. Sup Gold Zombie Fan. Welcome, welcome. A little bit of delay when it comes down to me making videos. I kind of making videos and do live streams, and I think I want to do a live stream about cop chases. That's gonna be kind of fun because that's something I'm actually getting into. Kind of trash in my opinion. um, so that I'm doing okay from the BS I'm going through with my job. Hey, understandable. I get it. I get it. I get it. Yo, congratulations. If y'all down for me watching some police cam videos next week, hopefully, fingers crossed, that's going to be interesting. I'll do it before I go to academy, so that's going to be fun. If y'all down to watch that, I'll let everybody know. Uh, but let's just go into it. First of all, Nintendo Switch 2 came out. Everybody knows. I only keep it real. Congratulations, Nintendo guy. Congratulations. Going to keep it real. It's not even worth to buy it. Don't get the Nintendo Switch 2. There's so much anti-consumerism that they're doing that, you know, it's not worth the money in my opinion. And there's some not PlayStation, sorry. Nintendo fanboys I kind of want to get into and we talk about it. But it's something I do want to address because when it comes down to it and everything, and it's just stuff that Nintendo doing that is kind of trash in my opinion. Um, with that being said, thank you everybody for visiting. I know it's been a moment, but it's safe for me. You already bought it. However, I don't recommend it right now. I don't recommend it at all. Like I'm going to keep it real with everybody. If somebody's going to do anti-consumerism, like with Microsoft when they raised the price of games, that kind of made me mad because it's like, why would you raise prices of games and it doesn't make sense to me in my opinion. Do you hear about the recent Las Vegas shooting? I have not. I have not checked that out. A YouTuber and his wife were murdered with. Damn. What the? Mm. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. We're going to get into that golden apples, but Mr. Gamer, I did not hear nothing about that. I gotta look into it. Um, again, sorry, my throat kind of dry. Give me a second. If you see me drinking water, understandable. My throat is kind of dry. Um, so like I said, when somebody do anti-consumerism stuff like what Nintendo doing, I'm not going to support it 100%. There, there's no reason why somebody should buy that console with what Nintendo doing. I know a lot of people who say they're boycotting, like Murahara, if I'm pronouncing his name right, but then he bought the Switch. That's kind of ridiculous. I'm going to keep it real. Just like Nvidia, I refuse to use their cards. Just like Nintendo, since you're going to make those anti-consumerism moves, then there's no point of me even getting a Nintendo Switch. If I do get a Nintendo Switch too, I'm going to go ahead and do my due diligence to make sure it's cracked so I could do whatever I want with a device that I bought with my own money. Yeah, yeah, I know, I know. I got it hardwired, so give me a second. Uh um yeah, or just buy a good old Steam Deck. That's something that's like interesting. Or we could do this. Let me go ahead and switch to a secondary thing. Boom. What Xbox did with Asus is they went and did a Xbox Ally X. I was just gonna call it Ally X and the Ally. Okay, you can see there's two versions of it. You got the white one, which give you 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes uh, of storage, and then with the Ally X, 24 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage, which I found out is NVMe, so you can always swap it out, which is actually ridiculous. I'm gonna have to check that out a little bit later, but at the moment, let's just try to get some good vibes here. Whoever goes out there, anybody that passed away, stuff like that, our hearts go out to them, so on and so forth. Nobody don't deserve to to nobody don't deserve to not be here, so everybody deserve to be here. So sorry everybody, my throat is crazy. As you can see, front, back. Ooh, RGB. Is it RGB or is it a RGB strip? Boom, side. You have that email when available and play video. We're gonna look at the video together. But I wanted to say, like, you see this right here. Like, you get Xbox full stream experience, game bar, the library and progress go with you. One thing I want to say about this is Xbox is actually being more pro consumer, in my opinion. Sorry. Huh. I know it. I know it really did. And thank you for coming over, Chaos. I really appreciate it. Yeah, they're mad. Why? Why be mad? Here's the thing. I'm all about people doing whatever they want to do with their products. Is I want people to do what they want with their products. That means if you buy, you should do whatever you want. Shoot, you can even add Steam OS on this if you want to, honestly. Because what is it? It's a Ryzen. And what's funny is people put in Steam OS on their full AMD builds. And here's the thing. I want Steam OS to be used on NVIDIA cards and Intel cards, GPUs. The problem with that is with NVIDIA, they don't have open source. I think with AMD is more open source than NVIDIA's. So that's why SteamOS work better with full AMD hardware. I installed SteamOS on my Ally. Exactly. Because it's a full AMD build. And that's one thing that I like about AMD is it's open source. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize about AMD. I still remember when I made my boycott video for the Switch 2. I still remember 70% like, yeah, I mean, I'm boycotting it no matter what. I'm not giving them no money. I mean, if people want to buy it, let people buy it. I don't care. But the fact that what Nintendo doing is ridiculous. Like, to be honest, I'd rather have this than this. To be 100% real. Like, what Microsoft giving me is way better than what they're giving me. And the fact that you can switch from Microsoft Store to any other store is actually competition. And this is what I want PlayStation, Nintendo, Steam, anybody to do competition, because this is something that is benefit with with competition. Like, make this better. Make other companies better by giving competition. It's like with my Knicks, even though they lost. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. Like, the Pacers had better competition than we had, and we just have to get better. Is healthy. More the next is Nintendo drama. Again, he made multiple video about him. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that, and he bought one. Like I said, you can do whatever you want with your money, but honestly, I just I'm going to say don't buy the Switch. It is they're I want to say they're doing predatory actions to the consumer. And yes, I'm going to say predatory actions like $80 games and giving you key cards. And I know Nintendo saying, "Oh, it's the key cards is not on all games." No, you say they're going to be key cards, so it's already implying that you don't care about physical games. So there's no point of even getting the console if you're just doing key cards. And yes, like I said, they did backtrack on it and say not all games, but you implied it. So therefore, we're going to say that it's going to be physical key cards. Steam with Xbox Cloud Gaming beta. It's always been beta, even on my phone. Buy once, play anywhere. Just like the Steam Deck. Xbox Remote Play, which is interesting. Then your trusted ally. Excuse me, you got the Ally X and you got the Ally. Hooray. Then you got the AMD Ryzen A1Z2 or Z2A processor. One of them faster than the other one. That's all I know. Yeah, I'm glad he's getting chewed out. You know, like, let's keep it real. If I say something bad, people are going to chew me out. When everybody else says something bad, they're going to get chewed out too. Let's just look at it right now. The ABXY buttons, the buttons, input, and then the AMD Ryzen A1 Z2 Extreme processor or a Z2A processor. 24 gigabytes of LPDDR5, X800 RAM, 16 gig. They're honestly, different speed of RAM doesn't really matter when it kind of matters in gaming, but it's not like a big difference. 1 terabyte of storage compared to 512 of storage for easier upgrade, which is perfect because easy upgrade. 7-inch full HD screen on both, 120 hertz refresh rate, FreeSync premium, Corning Gorilla Glass Victra. Is a screen. This is where I'm interested in. This is what caught me off guard right here. Just wait into GPAs. Yeah, at $100, should it be 100? This is what I'm interested in. Okay, I kind of want to get this. The reason why I want to kind of get this is because of this right here. The fact that it comes with a Thunderbolt 4 is telling me that you could probably connect a GPU to this system and play it on the screen. Now, here's the thing. When the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series was announced, I did say that these consoles should have at least a way you could put in a GPU, and people say that's dumb. This is the reason why I kind of want to do this, is because if I could get this, I really want to put a GPU on this and see if it can run on my monitor, and if I buy a TV, play it on my TV. I really want to see how good that will be. That's going to be very interesting. Wi-Fi 6. Look like the dimensions. It's the same, but one of them heavier than the other one. 80 watts hour. I want to keep it real. I think it's because of the battery. I could be wrong on that. I could be right. I think it's a battery, 80 watts to 60 watt. I think that's the difference of the weight, because right here it looked like, yeah, it might be the weight, but they're both getting 65 watt chargers and a stand. Oh, so you get a stand with this. Ah, interesting. That's cool. I'm actually down with that. Now, tell you the truth, if it comes with a stand, it's actually competing with the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm just keeping 100% real with you. It's competing with the Nintendo Switch 2, and that's a good thing. That's telling me that Nintendo needs to step up. And I don't think exclusives is enough. Especially this right here. Not just could run Xbox games, but Steam games, Epic games, GOG games. This is basically what PC players wanted. They want a broken down OS where no bloatware come in, and that's why I heard there's no bloatware and that's awesome. And another thing, you can also go with the Lenovo Legion Go S powered by SteamOS. Now, don't get me wrong, I wanted this when it was first announced. I was like, this one right here. If I couldn't get the Steam Deck, which the Steam Deck is a lot cheaper, I wanted to go with this one right here. And I wanted the Legion Lenovo Go, but this right here is a little bit too tempting. Powered by SteamOS, its standability, 8-inch pure sight gaming display, Logitech True Self sensor, cold front cooling, adjustable triggers. Cool. Then you got the specs. You got two of them, just like this, like the RG Ally from Microsoft. Then you run SteamOS, got AMD Radeon graphics, up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. I think the RAM is faster on the ROG Ally X from Microsoft, which is fine, but you do get 32 gigabytes of RAM, while I think the Xbox give you 24 gigabytes. Honestly, games is not using all those specs, so it's whatever. It's not going to use 32 gigs. It's not going to use 24. It's going to use 16 gigs, but it's nice to have that in there. So what's next? QTV video. I'm done with QTV. I'm just going to do a cop cam live stream. Before I go to the academy. So if you want to see that, that'd be great. I would love to talk about how my viewpoints come on it and see the difference, because there's some good cop cams. Trust me, I've been watching. Up to 1 terabyte of storage, which is great. Battery is 3 cells at 55. Battery might be better on the other one. I mean, still though. Headphones, mic combo, great. It does have USB 4. Oh, that's dope. Okay, 8-inch Nubia. I love the color wave on this. This color wave so nice. 65-watt wall charger. It doesn't come with a stand, which you can buy a stand. I like the Razer one, but you already know I'm a Razer fanboy. Oh yeah, it does have 2 USB type C's. So I really want to see if I could put a GPU on this as well. That's going to be really interesting. So there we have it. That's the Lenovo Legion Go and the ROG Ally. And you can see. And there's another thing, the reason why I rather go ahead and pick up either the Xbox RG Ally X or the Lenovo Legion Go over the Switch is the fact of right to repair. And this is a big thing for me. It's the right to repair. And this is where I think consoles are falling where it come down. As you don't see, John Deere, if you don't know this, Quantum sips for OLED. You sip for Razer. I mean, you're not wrong. Yes, Zombie Fan, you are true. It is true. I am a Razer Shield. There been some crazy ass shit with NGPN Saga. Really? I gotta look into that. Steam Deck have bigger trap pack. Oh yeah, we know. Okay, so if you don't know, John Deere did some fucked up shit. Okay, now imagine this. Okay, imagine this. You're working on a farm, right? You're working on a farm. You're growing corn or whatever, vegetables, fruits, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it corn. You know, the world need the corn. You had a tracker. John Deere been like the top end of the tracker game for a long time, right? You had their vehicles for a very, very, very long time. And then you're like, I need to get new hardware. I've been working on this hardware all my life. I know how to fix trackers and everything. But it's time for me to get another brand because this tracker been in my family for all these years. So you went to John Deere, you went to their dealership, you went and got yourself a John Deere tracker, right? Then your tracker broke down. You try to fix it, but there's some stuff that they put in there. After that, you're like, let me call John Deere real quick. Yeah, you can't fix it. What? I can't fix my own tracker that I bought? Nah, y'all bring it in so we can fix it for you for a very high price. Why? I can fix it myself. I gotta get this corn out from the field. It's time for me to get it. Nope, you gotta bring it in so it can get fixed, and you gotta pay tens of thousands of dollars. Right to repair. That's why John Deere faced U.S. lawsuit over farmer ability to repair tractors. The only back route is it's a custom service because it's shit. Everything else is fake. You're right. But again, right to repair. You don't have to go through them. You could fix it yourself if you know how to. And that's 100% fine. This is the reason why I like PC stuff that going like that. Tracker made John Deere face a fatal lawsuit that accused the company of illegal forced farming to use only authorized dealer for critical repair, boosting its multi-billion-dollar profit. Damn. This is crazy. The lawsuit filed on Wednesday by the Federal Trade Commission along with the Illinois and Minnesota. Man, that's where they usually work on too. Man, the FTC. All trackers. The whole point about it is independents release a anti-rogue over indie games that Chad and Gay nicely are geared to go through the divorce based on. Really? The AI generates CP inside his games. Oh, okay. I gotta look into that. But yeah, so here's the thing: if Nintendo won't let me repair it without breaking, then why would I buy the product in the first place? Now, will I buy the Nintendo Switch? I'll buy a Nintendo Switch in order to hack it so I could try to own my own games. Don't worry, I'll buy the games and then be like, hey, I bought it. Can't do nothing about it. But that's the thing. We want to own our system. And after that, I'm like, cool. You want to do that, Nintendo? I won't support you anymore. Like, I will buy a third-party Nintendo Switch 2 pre-owned from GameStop. So Nintendo won't get none of my money. This is correct. However, there will be casual gamers who will try to go to the customer service rather than. You're not wrong. And that's one thing that I think the consumers is not going to understand. You have the options. Like, here's the thing. My Nintendo Switch had a dead Joy-Con, right? I never experienced Joy-Con drift. Yes, I'm one of the lucky ones. I never experienced the Joy-Con drift, right? So with me knowing how to change the battery out, it's like if I did experience Joy-Con drift and I send it to Nintendo and Nintendo see that I tamper with it, they're going to send it back to me and say, oh no, you tamper with it. Guess what? It cannot be fixed. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people want the right to repair to happen. I just had a bad battery. If Nintendo sold me a battery and I could take the Joy-Con apart and could take out the battery and connect the battery, I would have been totally fine with it. But I had to send it to Nintendo, had to wait 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. I think it was 6 weeks, probably 6.5 weeks to return a Joy-Con to me was one of the worst irritating thing I had to do when I had to return my Joy-Con to Nintendo. And that's the thing. I want the right to repair to happen through everything because I want people to have the option to fix the device. That's all it is. And I get what you're saying but the thing about it is they should have the choice to either fix it themselves, go to customer service, or better yet, go to a computer shop that fix computers. There's so many options. Like, that's one thing that I like about having a right to repair. You should have the right to go to the customer service to try to get it fixed. If they don't want to get it fixed, and yes, ASUS need to fix their customer service policy. I'm not saying it's the greatest, like you said. They should fix it. There's no excuse. If they're going to sell multiple items like this, they should go ahead and fix their customer service. Send it to them or send it to Xbox, or you can fix it yourself, or you can find somebody else to fix it for you. Try 2.5 months for me. Oh, jeez. Andy realized the game of itch after he really? I'm going to have to look at that. I'll do that. Remember, Sendou Q is switched to Joy-Con Pro 2. Drift is to have the same. And that's the thing. Maybe I want to switch the Joy-Con analog sticks to Holopex. I want that option. And that's the reason why I believe the right to repair should be in every single device. Now, some of his videos recently came as Twitter age restrict. Oh, that's messed up. I'm so sorry. I gotta look at that. Well, I'm getting through this video a little bit quicker than expected. But let's go ahead and look at the video real quick of the Xbox ROG Xbox Ally, or RG Xbox Ally. That's going to be interesting. Hold on 1 second. Let me turn it up. Hold up 1 second. I had to fix the volume real quick. Why are you not? Oh, it's off. That's why. I gotta learn how to connect this to Bluetooth so it can be connected to my phone. This was kind of smooth. Wait, is Any Pants that one dude that was like an Xbox fanboy? I'm gonna have to check that out. I just remember it came up in my head. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay. I give Microsoft and ROG some props right there. That was actually pretty cool. I like it. Holiday 2025. I'm buying it. I'm buying that with the Lenovo, like, on a real note. So y'all ready for some Nintendo fanboy salt? Because Egg Brock While I'm hearing Godzilla theme, yeah, you're not wrong. It was some Godzilla theme, but you want to watch some salts. So this is on. So there's this YouTuber who had a debate with him with Nintendo Prime, and not only Nintendo Prime player assessments. So we're gonna go over both of them. I kind of want to talk to him about this and want to put my 2 cents in this. So this is him talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 hack was hacked, you know? So we're going to watch that, which we're going to have some fun. So I hope y'all ready.
There in the image. Anyways, let's go to this news story, and this deals with the hacking scene with Nintendo and the Switch 2. So let's go over here. It says, if true, Nintendo took it very serious to make Nintendo Switch 2 extremely hard to hack. It's going to be many, many years before this gets cracked, at least 2, maybe longer. Game leaks online via game dumps is going to be a long ways off. In my honest opinion, this is good news for general consumers. It will be hacked one day, but Nintendo went all out so far to make it very difficult.
No, it's not good for consumers, because here's the thing. Making it hard to hack is meaning, like, I feel like I don't own it. I don't own the product. I'm just paying $500 for a device that I will never own in my whole entire life. Imagine you going to a car dealership, and this actually happened with car dealerships too. Okay, but I'm going to go to the. I'm going to go ahead and go to a streaming. Yes. 4 hours of Switch 2 is already hacked. Exactly. And that's a great thing, because if you're telling me that I don't own my system, I'm just going to hack it so I could literally own my system. And if I ever get a Switch 2, I'm just going to hack it so I can own it. But let me go ahead and put a big extreme on this, okay? So your favorite car, what are your dream cars that you have, right? You have the money, you go out and you buy yourself your dream. Let me go ahead and fill some air in my tire. Go ahead. The next day, the people you bought the car from come to your house and said, listen, you put in unidentified air in your tire. So now what we're going to do is take away your car because you signed a contract. So you don't really own the car that you bought. I like Nintendo Prime said that it would take years or hack or switch to age like milk. Oh yeah, it did age like milk. So here's the thing. People is going to do hacking stuff, okay? Because it's their device, they're going to do whatever they want. You can't tell people what to do. Let them do whatever they want. Especially heated seats. A subscription service to use a digital key fob. So if I buy a nice BMW, I should be able to fix it when it breaks down. Exactly. But that's the same exact thing. They'll break your car because guess what? You put in unidentified air, or you put in the wrong, or you didn't take it so they could put in a brand new alternator from BMW or whatever. That's what people is tripping about. And you're saying for consumers, because the consumer is going to go somewhere else.
Difficult to do it. It's based on this post here from the Switch 2 Hacks subreddit, which of course a Switch 2 Hacks subreddit exists because a Switch Hacks subreddit exists, and they're quoting this stuff here that comes from GBA Temp. So I thought we should go to the source, and the source is GBA Temp. If you guys,
you know what's funny? I'm going to keep it real. I don't trust what he said, because the thing about it is he tried to get news so he could report it right away. A lot of people do that. I get it. But he's so quick to jump on news stories because I don't know what's going to go down. I kind of waited until the Switch came out and everything. And look, the Xbox ROG Ally came out. But anyways, he had to retract it, which is cool. But again, I feel like he just hopped onto stories while doing that much research. because I think if it's something good about Nintendo, he'll talk really quick. But if it's something bad about Nintendo, he'll probably wait.
Guys don't know, GBA Tempt is a well-known place for the hacking community around Nintendo. So this stuff is pretty well vetted, and it comes from Lugana Lore 88, aka a well-known member. You know, is what it is. This person does seem to know what they're talking about, and people seem to be kind of confirming that this stuff is happening. So here's what the post says. Some hackers got their hands on Switch 2. One, a MIG switch tested, and it immediately locks out the Switch 2, turning it into a brick as it ends up boot looping. So,
long story short, you don't own your system.
So just with that alone, for anyone out there that has a MIG switch and isn't using it for nefarious reasons, instead, you use it as a way to condense your physical library, just know, do not insert that MIG switch in a Switch 2. It's going to boot loop.
Yeah, you don't own it. Imagine paying $500 for a literally brick. Like, if you don't know this, that's why I get on Apple a lot. That's why I hate Apple. You buy yourself a $500 phone, $500 Nintendo Switch, a $1,200 iPhone, and yet you need to log into their service in order to use the device. Here's the thing. I own a Google Pixel. Yeah, I know. I got this for free, okay? A Google Pixel 8 Pro. This one I got for free, switching over to Google Fiber and stuff like that. You know that I don't have to log into anything in order to use the phone. I could use YouTube. I could do anything I want. I don't have to use this phone logging in. I could call emergency numbers. Matter of fact, I could download any operating system out here like Graphene OS. So I don't need to be in a ecosystem in order to use this phone. So I do own that phone, and I do own it. I just use Google because it's like, okay, I got everything that's Google, is connected, everything. But if I don't want to use Google services, I just download Graphene OS. Still have the freedom to use Google services, but I'm in a sandbox, meaning stuff that I want Google to know about. I could. If I don't want them to know anything, I don't have to let them know about anything. Guess what? I'm free to do whatever I want. Instead of with iPhones, I had to put in my email address. If I don't have an email with Apple, I have to create one. And guess what? I just gave Apple my information. So is it really a item that I really own? I want to say about Nintendo brick system when you hack them it is scammy. I agree. Is there any way to get around the boot loop? I bet you there is. I could try to think of resetting it. It's an Android tablet.
Nintendo Switch 2 can recognize it's a MIG switch and will brick your system. This is very good to note for people that have MIG switches that aren't using them for nefarious reasons. That, yes, please don't do that, okay? Next up, testers that prod the flash storage of the ROM chip immediately locks out the Switch 2. So, hey, I'm trying to prod the actual memory inside, right? We're trying to go directly to the hard drive and circumvent Nintendo's protections and inject our own code. Yeah, the moment you prod it, you're locked out and bricked.
I know he was happy when he said that because he did do it. Dude, that's anti-consumerism. You're telling me I can't do whatever I want with my product? This is bad. This is why I told people not to buy it. Don't buy the Switch. Don't buy the Switch 2. Don't support Nintendo. What they're doing is scummy. And you know what's funny? $80 games? You must be out of your mind. I'm not paying $80 games. That's part I said is a predatory pricing. Because think about this. And this is what I did when I was a kid, right? This is what I did when I was a kid. I used to cut grass when I was a kid. $5 for gas. I put money to the side to buy gas. I think gas was like about $1. for a gallon, cut grass. I will cut 5, 10 yards a week. Go ahead, buy gas, pour it down. 5 times 10, that's $50 a week. Right? I keep on doing that for a whole entire summer. I have cash. I have money. Take out trash. That's an extra $2. I did it for elderly people in the neighborhood. I did it when I was a kid, like 12, 13 years old. Then I gotta worry about gas. I gotta worry about if I'm gonna buy something for myself. Now, I went and got me a game. Yes, it was pretty expensive, but hey, at least I got a cartridge. At least I had a manual. At least the game was complete. At least it was through a cartridge. It was hard to build and everything. You know, not hard to build, but wasn't mass produced because certain people had to buy a certain amount. There was so much stuff to go into. So yeah, it makes sense that the thing was that expensive. But when Sony came out, they say, you know what? We're going to make the CDs games $50. One price, set the price. That's what they did. So all the games was going to the price and all that stuff. Extra came out, $50. Then they raised it to 60. Then EA raised it to 70. PlayStation say this is going to be standard. And then it's crazy. And guess what? $80 for ones and zeros? What I'm getting with $80? The game as a digital code? Why am I paying $80 for something that back in the day I paid $80 for a game that I got the cartridge, got the book, and I got a complete game with no updates? You see what I'm saying? Golly, what the? I'm paying more for less, and that's predatory. I'm paying $80 for ones and zeros, while back in the day, $80 was a cartridge, artwork, a full completed game. Where does the $80 justify? Even though we had no updates. Exactly. Holy crap, the Wii had no updates. And I will keep it real. I love cartridges because they're so much more durable than CDs.
That's right. Don't think you can go around messing with that chip, at least not right now. The Switch 2 detects have some weird protection that it can detect voltage changes that tools cause when scanning the chips, even when it's minor. So that's the one that has some people freaking out a little bit because, man, just a minor voltage detection can make your system get bricked.
And that's the reason right to repair. I hate to say this because the FTC had to go. Crap. I think this should go to the FTC right now. I'm dead serious. I'm not lying.
What they're missing out on there is scanning the chips. It is not something where you take like a multimeter tool. Let's just use this as an example here on the microphone. And you touch a trace here.
I know what that is. You'll have to explain. Oh my gosh. Okay. I understand your audience is like probably kids. Is a red, sometimes black or blue, little prongs that you use to test voltage. You can use it on cars and stuff.
And then you touch a trace way over here just to see if there's a voltage.
Positive and negative. You touch the negative or ground, positive with where it goes.
Running through. Now, multimeter tools will have its own little mini current because it is an electrical tool.
Yeah, it's like using jumpers for your car batteries. You put the black on something that's like negative or ground, aka a screw on your car, and you put the jumper of the red or positive on the positive thing, and that's how you jump a car.
But they're not talking about that. They're talking about specifically it could detect voltage changes when scanning the chips themselves. Not
what happened is the chip part broke and they gotta fix it. What happened is the chip part broke and they had to fix it.
touching different traces on the board. This is important because trace touching is part of repair work. So to know if you got to
Yeah, I wish they gave us right to repair.
replace a transistor, to know if you got to replace an entire module, you often have to test traces to see if power is flowing through those traces at the right amps and voltage. And people are worried that this would just kill repair, but in the end, we got to remember, what does it say?
Yeah, will it? Because here's the thing. Technically, somebody repairing it is low-key modding because they had to replace a part, aka gotta deal with that. If something happens, it could break it, and they're just trying to fix it. Like, oh my gosh, that's the reason why this is a horrible thing that they made it where is anti-consumerism.
This was talking about tools caused for scanning the chips themselves, even when it's minor. You don't use those kind of tools typically in console repair. I'm not saying it's unheard of and impossible to have those tools used when you're repairing consoles, but it's...
So you're saying there is a possibility. Do you not hear yourself? It's a possibility. Yes, it's a small chance, but guess what? It's a possibility. That's the part you don't understand. This is horrible. And what Nintendo doing is anti-consumerism. And you're sitting here saying, good job, Nintendo. You're doing a great job. You're doing the Lord's work.
Pretty rare. Usually if you're having an issue like with let's say the little reader for cartridges, oh, it can't read Switch cartridges, you would just replace the reader, right?
Yeah, and the possibility... Sorry, I'm Dreamcast guy real quick. And there's a possibility that the thing could overvote it and break it. Am I the only person that's thinking that that could be a possibility, or is he just he went to Krispy Kreme and said, "I'm about to glaze this Nintendo donut real quick. Let me glaze it all up."
You wouldn't even need to scan it. You would just know there's an issue. Oh, the flash memory is a problem. You would just replace the flash memory. Now, you couldn't really replace it on Switch because it was directly tied to the board. So that's a whole
soldering. You just have to desolder. And that's another thing. You want to know how to get rid of e-waste? Make everything replaceable. I hate solder joints of memory and all that stuff on a fucking motherboard. Because not only you have to, yes, you could unsolder and resolder, but it's just easier if you got RAM stick that's, oh my gosh. You think he's smart, but in reality, he's just defending a corporation that doesn't know that you exist. Exactly. Oh, you know what's funny? If I'm not mistaken, I think the RAM sticks in the portable PCs, like the handheld gaming PCs, are replaceable. I think they're replaceable.
Different thing. You couldn't even do that on Switch. So that probably isn't going to be necessarily repairable on Switch 2 without sending it directly to Nintendo. But anyways, I just wanted to point out that just because it can detect voltage changes and brick your Switch, that has to do specifically with scanning chips.
And if the chip sensor is broken and somebody fix it and it's sent a wrong voltage, it could break it. There's a possibility. You're saying low possibility, but there's still a possibility. Oh my gosh. Correct. And the Ally, there aren't. I would say they're not, but okay. Yeah. I mean, at least it got something removable. I mean, the Ally should have replacement, RAM sticks. but that will make anything so. Yeah, it does take soldering, but at the same time, the Asus should just have removable memory. Period. There's no excuse for Asus. No excuse for Asus.
Just, oh my God, the magnets got too charged when they attached to the system, and now my system is bricked. Or, oh no, I dropped my system, and maybe it had a little power surge from the battery when it hit the ground. Oh no, my system's, oh no, I had a power.
I got you. I've dropped the switch on the battery port and it overheated. And now when I replace the battery, it won't turn on because of the brick. I put in a new battery and the battery wasn't at the right current and it bricked my switch. I put in a game with accidentally overvolt the switch. It is from a Nintendo game and it bricked. There's other possibilities that you're not thinking of. Yes, that could brick the switch. That's why everybody called this the dumbest thing ever. Okay, I got you. It dropped since the system made out of plastic. It hit a corner of an edge that was pretty sharp, and it hit the battery, so therefore it could overheat it. I'm just thinking about all the possibilities that you can. That's the only thing I could think of. But hey, my brother dropped his PlayStation Portable one time and it shattered everywhere. But
Or search from the outlet. They're not talking about that. Okay. This is very specific to tools used for scanning chips, which is a common method used to create mod chips. So this is Nintendo's way of combating mod chips. All right. Now we get into here.
I want to see if somebody come up with a video that said, this is not modded, this is a game, and it bricked my Switch. I want to see a video of somebody say that and want him to react to it.
Unless an exploit is found that doesn't result into a brick when implemented, it won't happen in a long time. Again, this isn't my words, right? I had the words of, hey, two years or more. They're saying a long time, whatever that means. Now, I know 3 testers that were working on hardware and software modding and know what they were doing just to find that any work immediately bricks it. Nintendo gave a troubleshooting step to reload the firmware from the SD card, but it's stuck in boot looping. It's almost like Nintendo knows they're trying to modify the system.
So I don't own the system. Congratulations. You just proved to everybody on this whole entire platform, hey, everybody, you know the Nintendo Switch 2? You don't own it.
In the end, it had to return to Nintendo, and they are no longer allowed to be testers and had to pay for the console. Otherwise, it will go to small claims court as it has some form of internal reporting that unauthorized use was made.
But if you're not on the internet, how do they know? If they're not on the internet, how do they know? You know what? If I ever got the Switch, no. I don't, go to Apple's, I'm going to say not at this moment. The reason why I say not at this moment is because NVIDIA is not really open source. And I think at the beginning of this live stream, I did say NVIDIA wasn't really open source while AMD is more open source. The Switch have NVIDIA hardware in it. I think is an APU, like a special APU. Steam OS only work well with AMD hardware. That's why in the future, I'm planning to build a completely Steam OS living room PC, like a console-sized PC for the living room that will play Steam OS, like just strictly Steam OS. But with that information, I think since it's NVIDIA, it's not going to work well with Steam OS. It worked well with AMD APU, CPU, and GPUs, especially Chimera. Chimera worked well with AMD hardware because it was open source. But in order for in order for Steam OS to really work with the Steam Deck, I think I really think you have to go with a Linux prompt that will work with in Intel. Not Chimera OS and definitely not Steam OS. I think it might work well with the other one, like Ubuntu. But I'm not a Linux professional. I'm really not. I'm not a Linux professional. I'm just a person who just looking at what Linux does, and I think that's the reason why I went with AMD as my hardware because I was playing the switch over to Linux. So, like I said, I'm not a professional with Linux. I just know I think the hardware, when it comes down to Chimera and SteamOS, it got to be AMD only at this moment.
Apparently,
Oh, imagine if you could install. Oh, I read that. The tail is just scummy. Yeah, they're scummy. I was late to the
another
party.
tester had early access to a game and it crashed and rebooted, but no longer worked until a reinstall of firmware. So it may be a sign that an exploit that triggers a reboot to run unsigned code is out of the question, as the firmware will refuse to run and needs a clean firmware. Also, for your information, reinstalling firmware from
It would be fun to put Steam OS onto the Switch too. That would be so awesome.
SD card is not offline. It is generic app that
would be
only
awesome.
connects to a Nintendo server to get the latest firmware, meaning it doesn't allow to install specific firmware versions and no longer can be used as a workaround. That's right, Nintendo made us.
You want to know what else that I feel like Nvidia lied to me about, and I think all the fanboys of Nvidia is telling me, like literally streaming on Nvidia hardware is probably better than AMD, but so far I've been doing this for like what 4 years. I had no problem with my AMD hardware. I need to make a video about the lies I've been told about PC gaming and PC in general. Like I'm dead serious.
So you have to connect to their servers to install their firmware. Smart move, Nintendo. Best bet is to hope for an emulator.
How is that a smart move? You're just being more anti-consumer.
And a way to dump Switch 2 ROMs. But what they're saying here is the best bet is someday there will be a separate way to dump games off Switch 2 cartridges. The MiG Switch, as an example, comes with a cart dumper.
I give it less than a year. I give it less than a year. You tried people. You just. Yeah, I'll say less than a year. I'll say less than a year. Like, not just like, okay, go to apples. I kind of figure what you say. Like, the fanboys of the consoles told me that PC is expensive. And then the Nvidia fanboys said AMD is shit when it comes down to streaming and everything. And I had this AMD hardware for about 4 to 5 years. Actually, I had AMD hardware for about 7, actually. And honestly, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like, they saying you will get the best performance, you will get the best streaming experience from NVIDIA compared to AMD. And honestly, telling you the truth, I haven't tried it that much. But let me go ahead and open this up real quick. I can actually cut through this one real quick. And this is one thing that will actually keep me with AMD. Is this right here. This right here It's the Adrenaline software from AMD with the GPU and the CPU, stuff like that. It's so clean when it comes down to everything else. I could boost everything. I could put my overlays for my metrics. You know, is I could actually do my metrics without downloading any other hardware. I mean software. It's so clean. I could overclock. I could do everything I want from this from here, and it's like it just made it so much easier. I start to realize the people that told me I should go with Nvidia over AMD been telling me lies, and I think I've been listening to fanboys while I was transferring over from console to PC. And honestly, I want to go ahead and make a video telling people, hey, it doesn't matter what hardware or software you get, as long as you're okay with the performance and you're happy with what you have, then I'm happy for you.
Cart dumper is independent of the Nintendo Switch, and you can dump your games through that cart dumper to an SD card and put it on.
Like the main thing that the console fanboys told me when I was switching over from. Oh, congratulations, man! How you like the transition, man? Tell me about it. I would love to hear your opinion on that. Like when I was younger, when I was younger, like let me go ahead and go back here real quick. When I was younger, what's funny is that probably take no more L's than oh my gosh. Oh shit, dude. That's funny. When I was young I had the Super Nintendo and the NES and Atari, right? Atari was passed down from not from my grandfather, but from my uncle to me. So I did have the Atari 2600. When the console war was happening, most of my friends had PCs, right? And I'm the only person that had a console, right? And my arguments with console versus PC was more logical at that time because I was a kid than what it is now. Now it's like I don't give a fuck what you play on. Go ahead and play on whatever you want. Just don't be a fanboy about it. So while they were talking about floppy disks, diskettes, CDs and stuff, my argument was like this. Look, I don't have to wait for a loading screen to play my games. I don't have to worry about people using the phones to play my games. I don't have to wait for all this, that, and the third at that time. Because if you had to play online, you had to be separate until they made a thing called two-way phone calls, where you could be on the internet and use the computer. You could use your computer while you could be on the phone at the same time. So my arguments back then was 100% logical at that time. But then when games start to come out with CDs, then my argument was, hey, with your PlayStation, you have to wait for a loading screen. While me, I could just put my cartridge in the console, turn it on, and I could get into the game without no loading screen. So when it got more and more into CDs, all that stuff, I'm like, I'm just going to switch over to the Nintendo DS and the Game Boy because they still had cartridges. And then now it's starting to be more and more like, you know what? I tried PC. It seems like it's the next thing I want to go to. Forget all that stuff. And guess what? I got to PC. Yes, dial internet, right? Dial up internet. Oh man, that is wow. Yeah. Woo! You want to talk about struggles? It's good. I had to say, AMD drivers have improved significantly in the performance of the prices. It is, and I think a lot of people that switch from Nvidia to AMD, they're probably going to experience that. Talk about, hey, is this drivers are a lot better, and I think AMD did a pretty good job when it comes down to drivers. Now, I never had a problem with drivers on my system, but I'm just 1 hour like a whole bunch of people. So I'm not going to say somebody wrong because of that. I'm just saying I've never experienced it, but I'm not discrediting people who do experience it. That's how you could tell someone who's just a fan instead of being a fanboy. I'm not going to tell people, oh, you're wrong on the drivers. No, that's not the reason. No, I recognize that I didn't have no problems with drivers, but I do recognize that people who switch from NVIDIA to AMD or buying an AMD card do have driver issues. At least I'm okay admitting that. AMD over NVIDIA. I think it's starting to be like that because what NVIDIA doing with AI. I want to keep it real. President Jim Ryan, what's up, man? Yeah, I know you definitely playing that when the Xbox, the X. Yo, I like the X-ROG Ally. I like the X-ROG Ally. That's the new name. X-ROG Ally.
On your computer. So there still could be a way
Ghost of
someday to dump Switch 2 games to the internet and obviously emulate them. But it's looking like it's going to be extremely hard to basically modify your Switch 2.
Oh, you want to bet?
Now, impossible?
The Switch 2 is just a tablet. The Switch 2 is just a tablet.
No, there's no such thing as things being impossible. Nintendo Switch 2s will be hacked one day. It's going to happen. Maybe it happens within a year. Maybe it happens within 6 months.
Maybe it happened in a couple hours.
I think it's going to be more progress 2 years in, but it really wasn't until the end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024 that PlayStation 5 ended up finally being completely jailbroken.
Exactly.
That's right.
Anything
As
possible.
of right now in 2025, yes, the PlayStation 5 is completely jailbroken and can be modified, but it took 3 years.
Do you want to know the reason why the PlayStation took that long to be hacked? Because they're not using Chrome OS. They're not using Windows. They're using a version of Linux where they don't give no proper props to the people who created it. I think it's a Linux that used on a server base. It's not like Linux where you get like Ubuntu or whatever. It's definitely a server type Linux. I forgot what it was. I watched a video about it and I was like, oh, so PlayStation's on that? That's the reason why it took a moment for PlayStation to be hacked or jailbroken. The Switch 2 is based on a Chrome OS. It's a tablet. Switch 2 is just kind of fire with controller attached to it. Yeah, one thing I want to say about the Switch 2 controllers is the fact that you can use it as a mouse. That won me over before they told me about what they've been trying to do, and I was like, oh hell no.
Let's just put that 3 years for them to get through all of Sony's protections in order to do that. Nintendo has put in a ton of protections themselves. Some of Sony's protections, by the way, also bricked PlayStation 5s. So people that dealt with that are already...
Because they run in two different operating systems. Yes, Chrome OS is on a Linux base, but if you know how to hack a cell phone, you know how to hack a tablet.
You've seen stuff like this before. So this sounds scary. Oh my God, every time...
Even Apple get hacked, and they're running on a special Linux that they created.
Time they try to modify, it's bricking the system. For your average consumer, we're not modifying systems, so we have nothing to worry about. It's not just going to brick itself through just normal use case. These are people legitimately trying to modify and hack the system, and Nintendo's...
You say don't worry about it, Nintendo Prime, but you look like you're growing extra gray hairs because you're worrying about it.
Bricking it. They told us they were going to do it, and they're even doing it without ever touching Nintendo's servers. Why?
You don't have to connect. See, here's the thing. Nintendo relying on the internet in order to control you. You don't have to connect your Switch 2 to any service or internet just to hack it. Matter of fact, You can use a VPN. You can use a VPN, go to Russia, and Nintendo think you're in Russia. The choice not to might affect the game key cards with. You're not wrong. Thanks, Ray Chaos.
Because they put in protections against all the common methods used to hack a Switch. It's almost like Nintendo had this bounty up for like the last X amount of years where they were paying hackers $10,000 a pop for finding exploits on Switch. Why were they doing that? Exactly so they could create the protections they have now on Switch 2. Now, I talked about how, in my opinion, I do think this is good for general consumers. Not all consumers. I want to be very clear here.
Now you're saying all consumers. This is the reason why I think a lot of people say you're a fan. Because you're now getting to a point that you're starting to say not all consumers. See, that's telling me you're being disingenuous because I've been saying not all Nintendo fans from the beginning, but yet now you're getting to not all consumers. Dude, all consumers. I don't give a fuck who you are.
General consumers are not the same as all consumers. People who modify their systems, I would not call them general consumers. People who like to modify their systems, custom themes, mods in games, run their systems at higher clock rates, dump their games, emulate. All the people that do that kind of stuff like to run homebrew. You are not a general consumer. You're a very...
Oh yeah, go ahead and insult loves Nintendo. Like I love playing Nintendo games. I'm a big fan of Nintendo. I like Nintendo over Xbox and PlayStation. But the fact that you insulting me not being a general consumer. Let me show you something real quick. Motherfucker. Look at this. I got Splatoon. That's the freaking Pearl and Marina. What's hard to find? Freaking Zero Suit Samus. Big Metroid fan. Dark Samus. Okay, Dark Samus. Freaking Metroid Prime. Sorry. Books. Splatoon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still collecting these mangas, and you saying, and I like to do stuff like mod all that stuff and do that, and you telling me I'm not the traditional consumer? Fuck you, dude. I switched over to PC because of it was more freedom, but I still kept Nintendo behind me because it was a budget way to, I could go ahead and justify getting $300 for a Switch OLED. And even this, I'm sorry, Pro Controller Splatoon Edition. I got this, man, I am a PC gamer, but I also like to play Nintendo games. $300 for a Nintendo Switch was perfect. I could just went out, got it, and just go out there, play some Nintendo games, play Splatoon, play Metroid, then go ahead and do some home brewing, all that stuff. And yet you say I'm not the general consumer? How about this Nintendo Prime? Fuck you. No. Here's the thing. Let me rephrase this for you, Nintendo Prime. I'm a fan of Nintendo, where if you could mod it to play Metroid in a different game as Samus, I would love that. I want to have better performance on my PC, all that stuff. You are the fanboy. You will die for Nintendo. You will bend heads over knees over Nintendo. It's not the regular consumer and the non-traditional. No, it's a fan who love to play the games and the fanboys who will go above and beyond. If Nintendo told you to jump, you'll say, how high, Mr. Nintendo? I'm not going to do that. So how about this? Fuck you, Nintendo Prime. You don't know nothing. Hey, now I play on Xbox and Steam Deck. That's fine. Not gonna lie, if Nintendo Switch 1 Pro controller was, yeah, it was great. Matter of fact, I got one better for you. I like the Wii U Pro controller because the sticks was all at the top. I know, PlayStation gamer.
Very specific niche consumer of a market of modifiers and hackers. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I am fully in support of your ability to do that. A general consumer.
No, you're not in support because you're here going heads over heels that Nintendo is making you not owning your system. And when something actually happened in the hackability era, you're mad about it. But then when you hear Nintendo is going above just for you not to own it, you're geeking over that. You're not for the consumer. You're not for the consumer. You are a corporate shield. And this is what people call you, corporate shields. You and player essence and player essence. I'm going to get on you real quick too. God, this guy look like a, holy shit. You're not wrong. He does look like Crack Gamer.
Is more like a random person who doesn't do any of this stuff, who just buys the games, who logged onto X, logged onto Facebook, logged onto TikTok, or whatever their favorite social media is, and they got spoiled from a game. Because guys,
okay, stay off of those websites. Nobody tell them to go on there. You know what? I'm done with Nintendo Prime. He's just a fanboy, and if you want to get offended by that, I don't give a fuck. But let's go ahead and watch Player Assassin talking about Mario Kart World Switch 2 reviews, and very interesting. He said he paid $50 for the game. I digress. And I'm about to use his logic.
So things are getting more and more interesting with the Nintendo Switch 2 as we've got the first number of reviews for Mario Kart World on the Nintendo Switch 2. One of the more controversial games because the standalone title is $80, a jump above what Nintendo did before with $60 and $70, now up to $80. And does that affect what's been said so far?
Yes. It does affect. Let me explain to you. Player Assassins. Every time when somebody do a game review, you know what they say in the first 1, maybe 2 minutes of the review? The company gave me this code for this game, but it doesn't affect my review of the game. And usually they say the game price in the beginning or the end of the video, but they still give you a game price. You want to know the reason why? Because people should know about the game price when they buy the game. Because the game price does affect it. Like for instance, you said time and time that you paid $50 for the game because it was a bundle. I don't know if you could have said free because of the game, but you saying because the Nintendo Switch 2 was $450 for an extra $50, you got the game. That's your logic, and I'm about to go ahead and say this. I'm going to use your logic too. You didn't pay $50 for the game. Hell, you didn't even pay $80 for the game. You paid over $120 for Mario Kart 8. Now you saying Q, Sendou Q, why in the world did he pay over $120 for, you paid $450 for the game, for the system, and $50 for the game. and all doing well. That is true. Let me ask you a question. Over in Japan, they pay $330 for the console. $330 for the console. That's in USD. Because of different price, you want to call it tariff, I don't really care. So using that, in your logic, the console should be paying, everybody should be paying $330. Just like people should be paying no more than $400 for the PlayStation 5. Since the system costs $330 in Japan, that should be the cost of the Nintendo Switch 2 everywhere else. So therefore, using your logic, player is hesitant, you paid over $120 for Mario Kart 8. If you want to get mad at that, then you should never say you paid $50 for the game. Because I'm going to sit here and say, no, you paid over $120 for the game. Because in Japan, it was $330. Should be $330 everywhere in the world. You know how people was tripping about the price of the PlayStation 5 Pro? And it was $699, $700 for the PlayStation Pro. And then when people did the math, they say, I'm spending over $1,000 USD just for the PlayStation Pro. They should be paying $699 USD for the PlayStation Pro. Same thing with everybody else in the world. They should be paying $699 for the PlayStation Pro. If it's $699 and it was cheaper here in America, but not cheaper everywhere else in the world, that is scummy, and they should be paying the exact same price as we do in America. If it's cheaper in America, then everywhere else should be the same price. If it's cheaper in Japan, it should be the same price as everywhere in the world. I don't care. You might go ahead and be a not Sony fanboy, but Nintendo fanboys, I know you don't like that, Player Essence, and I'm going to say I don't give a fuck. Because you do show that you're a PlayStation fanboy. If Japan paid $330 for the Nintendo Switch, then it should be $330 everywhere in the whole entire world. Same thing with everything that you own. It should be the same price everywhere in the world. No more, no less. That's my rant. And yes, you paid more than $120 for Mario Kart 8. Remember when the Xbox 360 came bundled with actual physical game? Yep. Bro, the console came with a downloadable code for the game, not even exactly. Mario Kart is only worth $30. Here's one go to apples. Excuse me. I think digital copies should be cheaper than physical copies. I think digital copies should be $30 to $40, and physical copies should be $50 to $60. I'm only paying for ones and zeros, while people that buy physical copies only pay for shipping and handling. So why do people who buy digital copies have to pay for physical prices? So I do agree with you.
About the game when it comes to the professional reviews, well, we'll find out at this point. Now, you have to remember, a lot of the press and media didn't get their review units up until right about the launch, plus Summer Games Fest, plus the Xbox event. So reviews are trickling in a bit slower than usual.
Because Nintendo know that you're going to buy it just like you. They don't have to send no review units. They know you're going to buy it. They know you're going to buy it. So what's the point of a review if you're going to buy it? It got the Mario hat. It got the Mario IP. What's the point of a review if you're going to buy it? I guarantee you right now, Nintendo believe had to send nobody a review unit And because guess what? You suckers gonna buy it.
But expect more than what we have here in the coming week. Right now, we've got about 12 reviews scored so far with 16 total. And I'm going to go over.
Because they know you're going to buy it. If they know that people are going to buy a product, why would they set a review unit? What the fuck was that? It's like with Apple. Apple don't give out review iPhones or MacBooks or Mac OS to people because people is going to buy it. People is going to buy it. They don't have to send a review copy to anybody because they know that people are going to buy it. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's all it is. They going off of your nostalgia and knowing that you're going to pay $80 for a game. Come on now.
The good, the middle, and the bad with this game to kind of get a gauge of what's happening with Mario Kart World. So right now it's sitting at a 90, so pretty good. That would be a Metacritic must-buy rating if it had enough.
Must buy, but I'm not going to buy it. I only keep it real. Mario Kart should not be open world. Come at me. Mario Kart should not be open world.
Reviews to qualify. I think it needs about 30 something or so, so we'll see how that works out, or maybe it needs a little bit less, but I know that it needs more than 12 at least, so we'll see how that all works out as more reviews filter in. Now, I did predict that it would be around the high 80s, 88, 89. That's
This is the reason why I hate people saying they know about predictions. Dude, it's Mario Kart. It's not a prediction. Oh my gosh. Let me see something real quick. Oh my gosh, really? Hold on one second. Let me see something real quick. I don't care about worlds. I want to see the list of. Da, 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 da. Sorry if I'm quiet, everybody. Just give me a moment. I just want to see the scores. Ah. No, I don't want to see that. I just want to see. Okay, hope this is it. Because I got a theory. I got a theory. Okay. So we're at the gamer, everybody, as you can see. So we're at the gamer, right? this is every game ranking according to Metacritic, right? We got Mario Kart Tour at a 59, Mario Kart Wii at an 82, Mario Kart 64 at an 83, Mario Kart 7 at an 85, Mario Kart Double Dash at an 87, Mario Kart 8 at an 88, Mario Kart DS at a 91, Mario Kart 8. So, player assessing. Let me get this straight. You think it is a high 80s? While if you look at every single score of every single Mario Kart, it was always going to be scored at a high 80s, possibility a 90, like a low 90, due to the fact of looking at every single Mario Kart. Only one Mario Kart only scored at a 56, and that was Worlds on the Phones. So if those Mario Karts were scoring at a high 80, then it's not a prediction that it's going to score as a high 80. It was going to be 80 to, it was going to be a high 80s, low 90s. And you know what they probably did? Because we didn't get the game in time, we had to score it lower. Guarantee you that.
That's where I'm thinking it will settle as more reviews come in, but we'll see how all of that works. So out of the 12 reviews, we do have a complete positive review rating. There are no mixed, which would be a 74 or lower, or
because, okay. Again, player assessing. 12 people reviewed this game. That doesn't make it a great game, because a lot of people haven't played it. And the reviewers, compared to, I'm going to keep it real, player assessors, I'd rather listen to the people that are not reviewers, because guess what? All of those people saying the game is not that great. Have you ever looked at one of the reviews of a movie, and do you look at Metacritic scores, or reviews, or you look at people who actually watch the movies? Because sometimes they have the bias. So I hate to say this, but I'm not going to look at Metacritics or Metascores. I'm going to look at people who actually play the game on YouTube.
Or no negative, which would be like 50 or something like that, or lower. So we have no.
And I guarantee you, the reason why you look at Metacritic is because that's only justifying your outcome than listening to other people playing the game. If you enjoyed the game, you enjoyed the game. But when other people, when the most majority say it's not that great, it's starting to be like that.
No mixed, no negative, 12 all positive. So that's definitely good so far. So let's start off with
If that's the case, then how come everybody else saying it's not the greatest game? They only play like an hour and they say they're done.
Hugones. They gave it a 9.5 out of 10 and said that Mario Kart World is the ultimate Nintendo Switch 2 launch game. This entry goes far beyond anything seen before in the franchise. It's a true turning point. It's simply better.
Hell nah. So you telling me y'all drive, and then the countdown start, and then you hit the go button with a boot of it on the boost timing? Where's the skill of staying in place and revving your engine at the right time? So you're driving, and then when the countdown go, you gotta hit it with that lost points for me. I'm sorry.
Better, offering far more than previous Mario Karts. Try it, or you'll likely miss out on one of the decade's best Nintendo games. Mary Station with a 9.3 out of 10 says Mario Kart World is the evolution that the saga was asking for after Mario Kart 8 that refined the classic formula to the extreme. Nintendo with the
Is there anti-gravity in this game? Because that was a fun part of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
a 9.2 out of 10 and says Mario Kart World is pure fun. Thrilling races, a relaxing open world, innovative mechanics, and impeccable multiplayer. Though it's slightly disappointing that
Look, when I played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Mario Kart 8 when I had the Wii U, I always watch a replay because the fact that I have the anti-gravity thing and you're upside down, that was the big part of me watching the replays. Do they have anti-gravity in this game?
At local matches with more than 3 players drop to 30 frames per second, Nintendo has perfectly balanced the classic and the new, crafting a complete addictive and accessible experience that'll delight both veterans and newcomers to the series. Alright, next up is Hobby Consolas with a 9.2 out of 10 and says Mario Kart World takes the best of the saga to the new level of quality. The life of Nintendo Switch 2 starts in style thanks to this colossal title, full of ideas, novelties, and craziness that'll never bore you.
I want to keep it real. I don't like this open world shit. Like, I'm not a big fan of the open world shit. It's like, you're going down one track. Like, with Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you know, you had some tracks that you go down, like the snow track that was fine and everything. But going in circles was like NASCAR level. I mean, I don't know if anybody liked NASCAR, but I'm not like a big fan, but I don't mind watching NASCAR. But it was like going around in circles and everything. This open world looked kind of weird as a Mario Kart game. Like, I don't know, I might, maybe people get sick and tired because this is too open. This is a Mario Kart game. It's supposed to be like a arcadish type of situation. You put that in an open world, it's like, whatever. Like Mario Kart is not like, Forza. You could get away with Forza with open world, but as far as a arcadish game, it doesn't even look like it's $80 either. If $80 justify the open world aspect, it's a waste.
Fun in its purest form. Destructoid 9 out of 10. Mario Kart World is the latest and potentially greatest in the long-running arcade racer franchise, brought to the next level with the Nintendo Switch 2's hardware, an expansive roster of racers, tracks, and endless fun to be had. Alright, next up, Game Reactor.
I can hear it in his voice. He's so excited about these reviews coming in. But I guarantee you he's not going to YouTube to listen to most of these people who actually played it. Like, I want to keep it real. I probably just rather just play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Yeah, I'd rather play Mario 8 Deluxe. I'm sorry. The open world is kind of gimmicky.
With a 9 out of 10. It is with great pleasure that I dare to say that Nintendo has done it again. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is today a full potter for me, containing 2 DLC packs from the Wii U version and 4 DLC packs from Switch. Mario Kart World already matches its content-wise and feels like a perfect platform to build on, and is itself a wonderful racing game for both happy amateurs who just want to go karting with the Desians of the Mushroom Kingdom and professionals who like to optimize their tracks and quickly learn to spend as much time driving on walls as on the ground. A better killer app for Switch 2 is simply hard to imagine, and
So there's no anti-gravity thing, so they took away the anti-gravity? Yeah, this is a no for me. If they took away the anti-gravity for me, this is a big ass no.
Mere thought that this is a game that will even get better with more content in the future makes it a game not to be missed. All right, next up is a 9 out of 10 from Stevior, and they said this: all up, Mario Kart World is ridiculous fun, alone or in a group, but as my husband said to me at 8 p.m. on the launch day of the Nintendo Switch 2, there's only so much Mario Kart you can play. Nevertheless, we're both keen to host friends, not only to show off the new racer, but what the Switch 2 can do accordingly. Let's just hope that Nintendo can broaden what's available in-game quickly, can to host friends, not only to show off the new racer, but what the Switch 2 can do accordingly. Let's just hope that Nintendo can broaden what's available in
There's no way. There's no way. You're telling me for $500 you can't log in shadows? Like, okay. Okay. You gotta see this. You gotta see this. Hold up 1 second. Let me see if I can put this in slow motion. Hold up. I'm gonna try to make this for you real quick. You'll like this. You'll like this. Okay. You can't tell me that the shadows log in.
Less, we're both keen to host friends, not only
Oh, that's so fast. Playback speed.
to show
Right here.
can
Okay, so if you look right here, there's going to be a truck coming, right?
do accordingly.
Okay, you see the truck right here. Look at that truck and look at the shadow.
Let's just hope that Nintendo.
So you see there's no shadows right here. No shadows right there, right? Right? No shadow right here.
Can
Now you see one of the shadows and you don't see the other shadow. Now look at this. Look at this.
brought him.
For $500, you get that. $500, you don't get shadows loaded in. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Nope, there's no excuse. Every single fanboy always want to say, "Oh, the shadow doesn't come in. Oh, we're not worried about the shadows." But then when it happened on their consoles, oh, we're not worried about the shadows. But then when it happened on somebody else's console, oh, the shadows come in. Nope, for $500, that should have been in there already. No excuse. This is really, honestly, I don't think the system is completed.
What's available in-game quickly, akin to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. While we're waiting for more Switch 2 games, we need more World. All right, next up is from Pocket Tactics, 9 out of 10, and says Mario Kart World might not completely reinvent the steering wheel, but it's still a bold new vision for the 30-year-old series that takes some big risks with the classic formula. That said, thanks to some visually stunning new tracks, incredible karting tech, and a soundtrack that keeps my head bopping at all times, it's already my favorite Mario Kart game to date, and I can't wait.
Okay, I cannot. I feel like this might be toxic positivity. Let's see if we can find a video about what you call it. About let me see. Do you think they rushed the console? I'm gonna keep it real. I think so. I think so. Either rush the comp, because the thing about it is, if you like, to me, the home screen experience, I really don't care about that. Home screen could be home screen, whatever. I don't care about that. It's going to do what it got to do. But, and plus, if it's not broke, don't fix. That's always been my thing. But they still should innovate it in that situation. But if you telling me that your biggest game already got shadow loading like that for $500, That's an L take. That's an L take. And to see, let me see. I'm going to see. Because the thing about it is now I'm going to look at somebody who actually played the game Mario Kart, because again, he's going by reviewers, but he's not going by what people are expecting. So we're going to watch this dude.
Epic Gamer here, and today we're going to talk about Mario Kart World. Mario Kart is one of the most beloved franchises of all time, and easily one of Nintendo's biggest. They had over a decade to perfect this next entry, and it had to be amazing, especially as the only launch title that they had on the Nintendo Switch 2. So what happened? How did we end up with the worst online experience, the weakest Grand Prix mode in years, and an open world that feels completely pointless to explore? Let's talk about why Mario Kart World kinda sucks. The first thing I always do when jumping into a new Mario Kart is going straight to the Grand Prix. It's the core single player experience and usually the best way to learn the new tracks before heading into multiplayer. With nearly 10 entries under their belt, you'd think Nintendo had this formula locked down.
I agree with him on that one.
So how did they mess it up so badly? At first, it feels really familiar. You pick your character, choose your kart, and select the Grand Prix you want to race. You start the first track, race 3 laps, and everything seems normal. But then things get pretty weird. Instead of jumping...
Okay, because the videos that Player Session showed me only showed like open world. And this is what I expect from Mario Kart. If you got me racing in an open world all the time, I'm going to look like you must be out of your mind. Yeah, I'm not doing open world because to me it's an arcade style, like this.
Jumping straight into the next race, you actually have to drive there on a long straight highway. Now that's not inherently a bad idea.
Now with this, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, some of these stretches are actually kind of fun, but once you reach the next track, you realize you only get one lap. The first 2 laps of every race in that Grand Prix just are spent driving to the track. That long highway that you have to ride from one track to the next, that counts as your first 2 laps.
Really?
So after finishing all the Grand Prix, it felt like I only raced like 10 real tracks. Everything else just blurred together in a mess of highways and 1-lap dashes. It never really felt like I raced anything except the first track of each cup. And here's the real kicker. After getting 3 stars on every Grand Prix, I didn't unlock a mirror mode, no 200cc, no new characters, not even a lousy costume. I got literally nothing, no reward at all. In my opinion, this is hands down the worst Grand Prix mode we've ever gotten in Mario Kart. Next up, let's talk about the big new feature, the main selling point for this game, the open world free roam. And right off the bat, it's handled in the weirdest way possible. You'd think free roam would be front and center in single player, but no, if you click single player, there's nothing there, it's not listed there. You actually have to notice a little icon on the bottom right at the main menu and press start, and then you'll load in. Not exactly intuitive. I mean, it is when you know it's there, but it's kind of weird they don't point you in the right direction.
Huh. Okay. I know I was tripping. I'm not going to finish watching it. If you want the true epic gamer, he's probably going to do it. So he is talking about reviews from from IGN. But let's continue from here.
But with a crazier cast of characters, fun items, and incredibly imaginative tracks, the racing is as good as it's ever been. And in Knockout Tours, hectic 24-player battle royale style matches, it's even better, proving that Nintendo can still deliver surprises that completely change the way we play its iconic games. I never thought I needed or wanted a BR style mode in Mario Kart, and now I'm sitting here questioning why it's never been added before. Only it had been called Mario Kart Knockout. That is all of the 12 reviews that we've got so far. Once again, more reviews will be coming in, but now I want to go over my own personal impressions after playing the game for almost 10 hours. I know I've got
Jesus.
a lot of hours into the game. I think I'm close to that, maybe even a little bit above it. So let's talk about Mario Kart World and what I think.
See, I don't like the car keep on driving type of situation. That mechanic right there is like, to me, is not skillful.
So far, Mario Kart World is one of the better, if not the best, Mario Kart game that I've ever played from a pure gameplay standpoint. The game controls like butter. There are a ton of different carts to use. Yes, there is no customization, but overall, it really lets you focus.
No customizations? Wait. No customizations on the carts. So you don't pick your paraglider, which it looked like it. So you don't get no customizations? The car you pick is the car you have? What? So you telling me I can't pick my wheels? That was the best part of Mario Kart 8 and 7. It was the customization. Oh my gosh. I mean, they could have done so much with this game. You could have not only you could have the customization. Like follow me on this, everybody. Like follow me on this. So this is what I think Mario Kart should have been. They could have got rid of the open world. And the driving countdown is dumb. What they could have done is this. They could have had this. And hear me out. Put Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the mechanic of wall jumping with the what's you call it, anti-gravity or the rail grinds. Have 5 is it 5? Have 5 modes. Right? You have all your customization. You have 5 modes. You have 50 cc's, 100 cc's, 150 cc's, 200 cc's. I'm sorry, make it 6. 50 cc's, 100 cc's, 150, mirror, 200, and add a double dash. And kart racing, where you hit people with it. So you could have had 7, 8, 9 modes, but you add double dash. With new items. You could have had an amazing game with double dash and all the characters that you had in the game. Plus add some more Nintendo characters. You could add Samus. You could add so much. And then have a double dash mechanic in it as well as one of the modes. You know how crazy that would have been? So you cannot customize your cars? Holy crap, what's the point of getting this game?
Focus on the driving and focus on the new skills in the game. The charge jumps, for example, the wall rides, and really trying to find ways.
Yo, I want my anti-gravity mode. I love the anti-gravity because I always replay my videos so I can look at me driving upside down and stuff. I want the anti-gravity thing back.
To uniquely bounce around the stage, going from place to place, rail to rail.
It could have been Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with double dash features.
Grind to grind and figuring out the most optimal and best way to do something. The open world has some really fun missions as well. I've had to really...
I don't give a fuck about missions. I just want to race.
Test my luck or test my skills, more like it, with some...
You're telling me like missions is like freaking Achievements, man. I don't care about that. I just want to drive.
Of these missions, some of them are even crazier and stuff that Nintendo never really showed too much in their promotional material. So I do think that that can expand in the future to create.
They could have did so much with this game. They could have did so much with this game, but they failed. They could have did so much with this game, but they failed.
A more lively and better single player mode or free roam mode. There is more potential strewed all about there. And when you combine that with the fantastic.
You said potential, so why are you giving it high praise when there's supposed to be potential? This is the point. This is where we're talking about games are not completed. This game is not completed. I remember when everybody was trashing Splatoon for not being completed. And I was like, but it's still a fun game. But people trash me about Splatoon not being completed till they add more stuff. Now I understand. The game is not even fully completed. You say potential. They could have done so much.
Controls, the great visuals overall, and the awesome gameplay mode.
It looked like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but open world. This looked bad. This looked bad.
New one like Knockout Tour, it creates a very compelling experience that's hard to kind of put down, especially if you have friends and family to play with. Now, one thing that I've done a lot with Mario Kart is play with the community, and I think that this game is truly going to stand the test of time overall. Now, I do want to mention, yes,
I think Mario Kart 8 is going to last longer than this.
The $80 price tag for some, obviously, if you can't get that bundle, that is very steep.
Yet you say can't get the bundle. You realize the bundle only lasts for like 3 months, right? Then it goes up.
And I do think that it's not going to be worth it for everyone. So I do think that needs to be noted. But if you want to play a great.
So now you realize a lot of people, you even went against a person who's part of the PC community, AKA you're not a nice guy to talk to at all. You're pretty much an asshole. But, dude, we sit here and say price does affect the game. This is not worth $80. This is actually a $30 to $50 game. Or a pack-in title for the Switch, too. That doesn't cost $50.
Kart racing game, and you want to have something that you can play for probably years with family and friends and online, Mario Kart World delivers that type of value. This might be one of your most, if you do get into.
I'm sorry, but when you play competitive and you don't have that option to customize your kart to give you a better boost, this game is trash.
Played multiplayer games out there. I know for me, Mario Kart games, I've been playing them since the early 90s when it started on the Super Nintendo, and I've loved pretty much every single Mario Kart game, with the exception of the GBA game. Didn't really like that one too much.
They could have done so much better with this game. They could have done so much better. This does not justify the price. They could have done so much better. Like the water mechanics, I mean, you got that from it's okay for Sonic Racing to sue Nintendo because of the water mechanics. I mean, they did sue Power World.
But for the most part, I've liked every single Mario Kart game. And this game to me just tops all of them because of the silky smooth online play, which is way better than what we've got with any previous Mario Kart.
Now, there's some people saying the online play is trash.
Game. I have not seen as many issues as I saw with Mario Kart 8 at first on the Wii U, then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and then of course the other Mario Kart games, it's really hit and miss, like with the Wii or the DS or anything like that. So
I don't
to
like
me,
this driving mechanic where they try to start off people like that. It's so dumb.
Really cool the first time that we've been able to do that from a built-in system level standpoint, and I think that there's just so much room for this game, especially with the open world and with what they're doing with some of the modes, to really just play and get better as things go along. And I would be hard-pressed to sit there and say that the fact that you can play this type of game anywhere that you want is incredibly appealing. It's definitely a pick-up-and-play.
Unless you had to download it where you have to download it. So it's not pick up and play anywhere. You know, if you got the bundle, you have to download it first. So you have to go on the online. Oh, but you can get the which call, so that defeat the purpose of the bundle. You say you could just go ahead, plug it in and play it, right? But you do need internet. That's the whole point of people getting mad about Nintendo doing what they're doing. But yet you're sitting here just praising it.
Game, you can be somewhere and get through a Grand Prix, or you can try your hand at a knockout tour, or try your hand on offline modes, or just rolling around in the free roam and using that as a training mode.
I like how you giving so much glaze like Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts and Tim Hortons on their donuts, because you haven't said anything negative. This is a straight up positive video. There's nothing negative. There's no good, no bad, no ugly. So why would I trust this review? At least with the other reviews I've seen, it was positive and negative. But you just start glazing it like Dunkin' Donuts, my guy.
As well, to learn how to do your rail grinds, learn how to do your wall rides, and just really explore the world overall and see what carts really handle best for you. So it's kind of built in single player, training mode, and mission mode, all kind of put together with the potential to add.
It's an arcade game. I don't care about the mission mode. I just want to just drive. I don't care about mission mode. Like, who cares about mission mode? Like, just give me a Mario Kart with double dash. That's one of the
add even more content in, which I'm almost positive Nintendo will be adding content to the mix when it comes to Mario Kart World. So
this is the reason why people say it's not worth $80. This is the reason why people say it's not worth $80. If it's not a complete game, sell it to us for less than 50. And especially if I'm getting the downloadable content, don't sell it to me for no more than 40, because I'm not getting physical. Oh, but games are getting more expensive to work on. You know, you gotta the reason why it was expensive back in the day, because the cartridge was expensive, all the other stuff that was expensive, where if you go to the store, you have to pick it up. You either pick it up from the store for $80 or go to Blockbuster Video or Hollywood Videos to rent it. Now, since I'm getting ones and zeros, why am I spending $80 on a digital game?
Impressed with what they've done here, and this is probably gonna end up being my favorite Mario Kart game of all time. My previous favorite game, Mario Kart Double Dash, Super Mario Kart, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I think that this game has a very good chance and probably encroach.
And you know what they could have done? They could have put double dash mechanics in it, but they didn't. That's what you get when you glaze over a company.
On it soon to pass up all of those games, considering everything that we talked about here and just my own personal gameplay, part of it due to the Nintendo Switch 2 itself being able to deliver the type of visuals, consistent frame rate overall, which Mario Kart games usually run at 60 frames.
The visuals look trash. Like, it looked like it could run on the Switch. It looked like it could run on the Switch
per second, but it's never looked as good as it looked with as many people on screen and with everything going on the way that it does. Like, it holds up incredibly well when you're playing, and it's one of those games, for me at least, that I just keep wanting to play and get better, and feel that there is so much more areas for tech for me to evolve and just get better at the game. So I'm definitely,
yeah, this is a pass for me. I don't know. This looked like I felt like this was rushed. All right, everybody, that's it with the video. What I'm about to do is I'm about to go ahead and watch Fertenga video about the Nintendo Switch having stick drifts. So if everybody enjoyed yourself, appreciate everyone. And remember, everybody's human. My name's Sendou Q. You have yourself a great one. Peace.